Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And in 2023, 2022, and 2021, our team has reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 fathers around the world, directly and indirectly. And we're going to do it again in 2024. I am also a featured contributor to the Fly Nubian Queen YouTube network, which has a dedicated subscriber base of 560,000 subscribers. And also going to be soon, I can't wait till it launches, the Indie Soup Creator Network, which is run by our dear friend, Dr. Tachi. And that network has a reach of over 1 million people. So as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, solution for someone's problem. Good morning, Ryan Knight.
Good day, Dr. Vibe. Good to see you. And for those that don't know who Ryan Knight is, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We support entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage the business is in and help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And I am an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights, which provides mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And you'll notice the pitch is tight because I got some practice in going down to pitch at Dragon's Den this weekend. So it was an exciting time. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a moment. This episode of the Monday Morning Vibe, which most of them are, I don't know if there ever will be, anything but, is sponsored by the McMillan Group, providing mortgage solutions one client at a time since 1999, buying, refinancing, or investing. Call them at, in Canada, 905-813-4354, US 904-586-5636. Also, got to represent McMillan Group properly. There's their numbers, Canada, US, then toll free in North America, 866-883-0885. Website address, themcmillangroup.inc.com, and also email raycmcmillan@gmail.com. Always appreciate Ray's support, not only on this show, but offline. I'm making a concentrated effort to see Ray in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And also there is an entrepreneur who I'm doing some amplifying with, and he had a meeting with her last week. And Ray, I got to say thank you so much. And he said, hey, if you want me to help you, I'm more than happy. Send me over your NDA agreement. She sent it over, and Ray had it signed and back to her within 10 minutes. She called me back and said, what? So thank you, Ray. Huge. Also, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Hit the notification button. Also, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business, product, or service on the platform like Ray and Stefan have been doing. I got to check. It's got to be coming close to 2 years now. Email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Also, Carolyn's a supporter too. Also, join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And also, here's Ryan's information. Because Ryan's the Gala King. There's all his stuff. Website, LinkedIn, Instagram, and email. So I'm done now. You can do your Dragon's Den.
Right. Well, before we get to this weekend, I have to catch up from last week because I wasn't able to see you on Friday. I was curious your thoughts on the preliminary budget submissions. So Friday was the deadline. And
I didn't even put one in.
You did last time. So what made you not put it in this time?
You know what? I have to be honest, I totally forgot. If it would have stuck with me, I would have done it. So to be honest, I'm a little disappointed that there hasn't been any movement on media space.
And remember what I asked when we were at that panel the caucus did, and they're like, okay, we're going to do stuff about media. And then we had done those budget submissions then. And I asked MP Marcia Ian, so what's the process? Like, we put in these submissions. Do we get to hear back, like, what's the next step? Just like, well, hey, you want to be kept in the loop, so we'll figure that out. Crickets. We hear nothing. And then they invite you to put another budget submission in. So you're like, what? Like, there's no follow-up. There's nothing that we can do to see where our submission even goes. So I can totally understand where you feel like,
yeah,
what's the point of
I'm a
this
little
exercise?
I'm a little disappointed, but so just to add on for people, especially in Canada, we're in communication with the Minister of Small Business and the Minister of Diversity to hopefully, if not on this platform, one of our platforms will be interviewing them or having a conversation with them. So I know, Ryan, you're going back with the Minister of Small Business. I'm going back and forth with the Minister of Diversity. Right now, I'm targeting Thursday afternoon to do that. But again, follow my platform or any of our platforms to see when those conversations are happening. I'm getting more positive movement forward working with private organizations when it's coming to media than government.
Okay, in what sense? Like,
I'm actually having a conversation this week with a media house that deals with advertising in BIPOC communities. I'm at least getting that conversation. Fizzer was having an event in regards to some policies they're introducing. This person got invited. They're part of Black media. And this person was kind enough to invite myself and some other people to this event. Oh no. So I said, no. I don't want to invite this event. I want to I want a conversation with the person who invited that original person. That meeting is happening this week. The event that they were supposed to do got canceled, but I still got my conversation.
Right.
That's the way I roll. That if I always ask to at least an initial conversation to that happening. So I'm a little disappointed that there has been really nothing that I've heard out in regards to media.
And something to keep in mind with and I might get it wrong, but I believe it was Google that made a deal with the government to pay out to media bodies or media outlets because of the blockages that they were doing. So now there's a conversation on how is that money going to get dispersed? And I don't believe any Black media bodies are at the table.
No.
This is millions of dollars. So I would encourage you to ask about those dollars as well.
Well, I'll be asking definitely the Minister of Diversity on that.
Yeah. Facebook, I believe Meta is about to do their deal. So looking at when those things get approved, we have to understand how does that money actually get down into Black media.
Just some of the things. Again, if you remember I don't know did I put in the Discord group the link about Roland Martin talking about how Black media works in the US, and it's no different than here. In fact, it's actually worse. Gotcha. In my opinion. Black media a lot of times will only get money given out to it 2 times. 1 during an election and 2 during Black History Month. Other times, a lot of media houses to beg. Not all of them. There are some that have done the work and are at a level that they get constant streams. But most of the time, election or Black History Month. So go Dragon.
Also, yeah, fast forward to the weekend, we were able to put together the ACBN delegation down to CBC Studios to audition for the show Dragon's Den. So for those that don't know what Dragon's Den is and have been living under a rock, but it's literally a show with a panel. They call them dragons, and you get to pitch your business ideas. So there are various investors from venture capitals or angel groups. So I know Wes Hall, he's one of the newest dragons. And he is kind of who we were targeting. We're like, hey, we're going to bring this delegation down to make sure that we get the pitch to West. Of course, the dragons aren't there during the auditions. You're actually pitching to the producers of Dragon's Den. So it was great bumping into a producer of Dragon's Den at one of the NACO events. So NACO is the National Angel Capital Organization. I got to bump into the producer while I was trying to get a picture with Bruce Croxton, who used to be a dragon. And then they mentioned that the auditions were open, and then I had no idea. So we said I was curious if other entrepreneurs knew that the auditions were open. So we sent out a call. Over 60 people signed up to come down, saw 25 in person and was able to get to talk to them. So 25, and I think about 50 pitched in total, like came down to pitch to the producers. So we almost had half of the people pitching were part of our delegation.
How long do you get to pitch for?
Well, you pretty much give your 2-minute pitch, and then the producers ask you a bunch of questions. So you're pitching for between 5 to 10 minutes. And so that initial 2 minutes is like you giving the story and your pitch. and then is the back and forth with questions. So it's actually a great exercise for entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
and
people should do it anyways. Yeah.
Just to practice your pitch, get questions about what you're doing. So I thought it was a good exercise.
So if you can, when you get notified about a link when that's happening, there's a lot of people I could share that out with in regards to doing that, because I think it's a great opportunity. Anytime you get a chance to share your goal, dream, and desire, I think you should take it. So absolutely. I think it's a great idea to have that.
And what we were able to do was bring down Shireen from Blackprint, and she also has a show called Voices and Vibes. So before the entrepreneurs went to pitch to the Dragons, we were able to capture their story and interview them, see what they're going to pitch. And it really helped people practice like what they're about to pitch. And it was great getting to hear from the entrepreneurs that they felt really supported, because a lot of them were coming down and thinking they're going to be on their own. Even Black entrepreneurs that weren't part of our delegation, they were there as well. And then seeing 20, 25 of us there and all cheering them on, it was a great feeling, a great vibe. So we definitely want to do that again.
All right. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have Carolyn Nicole from Energy Shack Juice Bar. She's going to be talking about protein today. She's going to be talking about her recent detox session she's been having. It's time to get healthy, y'all. It's time to get healthy, y'all. Back in 90 seconds.
And that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. Now, really, the rappers get all the attention. Seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Like the twerkers and the just people that, don't always represent the best of us, the diversity, like people like Dr. Vibe. Like, everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr. Vibe he's trying to do good work for Black people.
Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe is a real smart brother and a good human being. And I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. A lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. Helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Vibe is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Vibe show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
All right. Always hail up Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. And we have to be saying this. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs of the National Football League.
Oh, yes.
Back-to-back NFL.
Yeah, 3 championships in 5 years.
Quite the effort, quite the close game yesterday. I was peering once in a while. I was doing some work and just peering in every once in a while. So hail up to them. It's healthy food time. And when we think of healthy food time, not only monthly, but daily, you need to think about this lady. Who's this lady? Carolyn Nicole of Energy Shack Juice Bar. What's going on?
Good morning.
Finally found a quiet place? You finally found a quiet place?
I think so. It's a little cold, quiet place. I'm in the cold room. Not the cold room, but our, I actually don't know what to call this room. We're still trying to figure out what to turn it into. Maybe a sauna.
Cold sauna or hot sauna?
No, hot sauna with a cold plunge. I have to tell you about our retreat.
By the way, thank you for such a great background.
Here we go. All right, go for it.
Yeah, we just came back with about a dozen guests. We were at the Windermere Resort in Muskoka for 4 days of just transformational experience. Every time we have a retreat, they create a WhatsApp group. It's just bing, 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 bing. All last night, all this morning. Look at my salad. I'm going in my cold shower. Yeah, it was incredible. The accommodations were amazing. The Windermere Resort is top notch. Their management and their staff were excellent. My team produced the most delicious organic breakfast and lunch. Nobody had dinner, and we all ate by 2 p.m. There was some complaining on Thursday, but by the time we got to Friday, everyone's like, who needs dinner? And every morning, I kid you not, even the 80-year-old guest every morning, sauna until we were like sweating. It was so hot, like, let me out of here. And then boom, in the cold plunge.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, it was great. And we had amazing seminars. I have an amazing team of nutritionists that are so knowledgeable. I gave some seminars. Charlene spoke on sleep and natural remedies and brain health. It was great. And then there was like a really good mental health aspect to it as well, where Leanne, who is my sister, but also the event planner, she has a background in social work. So she took us all through this process of just searching your heart and like letting go of things, whether it's anger, whether it's unforgiveness, or whether it's just something in your pride, or maybe it's a cookie addiction you have. But we did a lot of letter writing. We had a whole mailbox so you could like write letters, but she got us to all write it out and burn it in the fire and talk about it if we wanted to. So there was tears, there was laughter, there was screams after the cold plunge, but it was 4 days of amazing.
How often do you do the retreats?
Once or twice a month. So the next one that's open for booking is a 7-day at the end of March. Then we've got 2 4-day ones in April. We have a 4-day and a 7-day in May. And then we're doing something different through the summer, more medical missionary training with a mission focused in Cuba, Florida. We've got a few of them. And then we come back in the fall at the Windermere for the 4-day retreats.
So things are going good. How are things going with Energy Shack outside of retreats?
Yeah, you know what? Energy Shack is great. People are starting to get the message that we haven't closed. We're still there. It's managed well. And, you know, I'm not at the store very often. I'm only down there once a month to have in face. But the store runs incredibly well without me there day to day. I just kind of help to manage a bit in the background, but just phenomenal employees and management. Everything's going well. Our plant-based expo is coming up May 5th. That we
need to talk about that.
Yeah, we've got like over 30 small businesses that have some form of plant-based aspect to them, and they're gonna be there showcasing their products, giving samples. It's just amazing. Can I just tell you that I have a client that I'm working with blood pressure, like go to the hospital blood pressure, no matter how many medications the doctor has her on because of her kidney failure. Like her blood pressure is always like 202 over like 110.
What?
Yeah, like stroke. So I took her under my wings. We started the program last week with a 5-day detox. She was trying to call me this morning, and that's why my phone with my camera was going, because I was trying to like message her to say, I'm live, I can't talk to you. But anyway, she just sent me a text message. I got a glimpse of it. She said, look at my blood pressure this morning. I'm on 0 medication. I have never seen such low numbers.
How much protein is enough? How much is too much?
Yes.
Go for it, Carolyn.
So let's do this. That's the biggest thing that I hear, because as you know, I promote a completely plant-based diet. And one of the first things people say to me is, oh, but where am I going to get my protein? That's a real question, and it's a big concern. I want to kind of shake this protein myth, and I want us to understand we very much live in the here and now. But in my practice, I'm working with people that if they thought about what does 5 or 10 years look like from today, they would probably make some changes. And I'm grateful because I made changes in my personal health when I was like 17. So, you know, I'm just a year away from 50. I don't think I'd be feeling, looking, in the place where I am at 50 years old. So in the here and now, many people feel like, you know, they need mounds and mounds and mounds of protein. And so first of all, let me explain that every single function of the human body. So I definitely had to take a biology course while studying to be a nutritionist. And I don't pretend to have all the answers of biology, but every single function of the human system, all those chemical combustions and every kind of nutrient that has to be assimilated into the system, every function of the human body pretty much needs some aspect of protein. So that's probably why people have in their mind that, you know, I need protein because every aspect of the human function requires protein. Here's the most amazing thing is that when you add all of this up, it doesn't add up to 80 grams of protein. So that's the reality. So for a man, you need about 56 grams of protein. I'm going to get pretty specific. And a woman about, and I'm talking about adults, about 46 grams of protein.
Mhm.
That is a whole lot less than what most people are consuming today. And
Right.
so, especially if you go to work out, your trainer is probably going to be, I mean, I've met some trainers that are like, you need 120 grams of protein a day. Danger, danger. Like all red flags go up and the alarms
Okay.
should go off for you, because what I really want to talk about today is what's the byproduct of protein and what happens when you consume too much. And what also happens when you consume too little. So the reality is that too much protein is not usable for the system body, and it turns into toxic waste. So that is a major issue. Any thoughts, questions, or reflections before I continue?
No, go ahead,
Well, when you
Ryan.
say toxic waste, I'm curious, what does that like materialize as? Like, what would be considered toxic waste in the body?
Yes. Okay. Dr. Vibe, did you want to say something before I answer that?
Yeah, well, a few quick things is I want to promo you. I'm just saying, if you want to get a consultation with one of Carolyn's team for $49 instead of $110, send an email to info@Energy Shack Juice Bar and mention the Morning Vibe. Also, there is the contact information. Now, if whatever platform you're watching on, except Ryan's LinkedIn platform, the contact information is in the comments section, but EnergyShackJuiceBar.com, info@Energy Shack Juice Bar. Phone number 647-637-6755. Facebook and YouTube, Energy Shack Juice Bar, and Instagram, The Energy Shack Juice Bar. And she is a global citizen. So just don't think, oh, we're broadcasting in Canada. No, she has clients globally. So one of the things I'd like, and I don't know if we'll talk about it later, but the whole aspect, and you may not need to answer it now, but later, protein powder. But
I'm going to touch it. I'm going to
okay,
touch
all right.
it.
So okay, so you go.
So let's talk about this byproduct of waste. I am going to get into what can I eat for protein? So we'll get very practical, but one of the things that we just don't realize is creatine. So creatine is found in all animals and all animal products. In fact, we produce our own creatine, 1 to 2 grams of creatine a day. So the byproduct or the waste of creatine is creatinine. Okay, so I produce creatine. It's an energy that helps with pretty much the absorption of your protein, the strength of your muscles. So you need the protein, but the protein has to have creatine in it. And so what's kind of dangerous is, in my opinion, is when we are supplementing with creatine, because your body and my body produces creatine because all animals have creatine. So when you eat animal products, you get creatine. You already produce it yourself because you and I are part of the animal kingdom. So now we get this creatinine waste. And again, I'm saying yeah, sure, you take creatine, you take up to 5 grams of creatine, or you're taking 2 or 3 grams of creatine. You're eating animal products which have creatine. Your muscles can only store so much creatine, and it turns to creatinine, which is waste in the human body. And I'm telling you that when I'm meeting these clients that are 50 and 55 and 60 with kidney function that is no longer functioning at 100%, we're seeing 55%, 65%. I'm looking at their blood work, and what am I seeing? Extremely high levels of creatinine, because the kidneys cannot filter out that much creatinine, which is a byproduct of all this waste. So we're taking these supplements, we're taking all this extra protein, we're taking creatine supplements, we're eating animal products, and this may look fine and good for your great biceps and abs today, but fast forward 10 or 15 years, and now our kidneys are failing because the main job of your kidneys are to filter, right? And when there's too much protein, there's too much creatinine, that creates acidity in the bloodstream. So your body does something incredible to fix this acidity level in your bloodstream. It actually pulls calcium from your bones and joints, Now your kidney plays a role in getting that calcium back into the bloodstream. And guess what? Now we get calcification. Now we have kidney stones. We wonder, like, how did this get here? It didn't get here today. It got here, years before, over supplementing, too much meat. When your body produces, you're an animal. You produce all the creatine you need. No need for all this extra creatine from animal products and supplements. I would love to get an audience of just like boys, teenagers, and men who are constantly over supplementing and killing their organs.
No, when you mentioned creatine, it just reminds me, because I watch baseball a lot, and that was the big controversy with like Mark McGuire and the steroid scandals, like them taking creatine.
Sammy Sosa.
Yes, that whole era.
Jose Canseco.
So people take creatine itself, like direct, like that's where.
Oh yeah, people do take creatine supplements, or creatine is added to your protein supplements.
Okay, so those are like the protein powders, like when people are working out.
Danger, danger, danger.
Like, I'm curious, what does protein in the body do? Because you mentioned every facet of the body uses protein in some form. That's by a biology class that I never took. So I'm curious if you can dig a bit deeper into that function of protein.
Just before you go any further, because the comments are flying in, and as they always are when Carolyn is on. Dr. Tachi says, wow. She also says creatine is big in fitness circles. Also says, she goes, Sharina says, very scary that people take straight creatine as a supplement. I know you're going to address this, but also Dr. Tachi says, what about plant-based protein powders? She's got some products, but I'm going to leave it at that. So we're caught up. So go ahead, Carolyn.
Your body can't function without some sort of muscle power. Okay, so we need the muscle tissues. Imagine your body without any muscles. You wouldn't be able to even take one step forward. You couldn't do anything, right? So, look at muscular dystrophy, a terrible disease that happens to people where MS, where their muscle tissues are literally being eaten away. Then you lose the ability to walk or function or even lift up a spoon eventually, or use your mouth to chew. So if you don't have muscle tissues, which are part of every cell of your makeup, you can't function. And so protein helps to develop those muscle tissues. So we absolutely need those muscle tissues. But here's the issue. And if I can just be very real about it, most of us have like a vanity issue. We're all vain people. Some people are okay with their figure, however it is, but when you get into the gyms and the exercise and the workout circles, we're not just trying to keep our natural God-given physique. We want our butt to be bigger, our biceps to be bigger. And for those who do remember Arnold Schwarzenegger, who, by the way, is a vegan today.
Really?
When you are trying to make your muscles and trying to make your physique bigger, more muscular than you were designed, then you have to consume more protein than you naturally need. But that creates a major problem for the body. But when you want to go against your unnatural state of physique, you have to eat in an unnatural way. That's the reality. So the problem with that is that you look good today, and Arnold Schwarzenegger looked amazing, but he said on live TV, and if you watch his documentary, The Game Changer, he said it created a lot of health issues for himself, right? It was such an unnatural way of eating so much animal products that it does create kidney and liver function issues because it's so much waste. 40% of all animal products, whether it's chicken, whether it's fish, whether it's eggs, whether it's beef, 40% of all your animal products are complete waste in the human body.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a real figure. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if your meat is like, this big or huge. 40% of that is not going to be used in the system.
Whoa.
So now your kidney, your liver, your bladder, your colon are taxed with all the waste. And we don't eat meat sometimes every 2 or 3 days or once a week because it takes 48 to 72 hours for that animal product to
What?
leave the system.
What?
Yes. Pork is
What?
72.
What?
Beef is 2 days. And here's the problem. Many of us are eating it for breakfast, then lunch, then dinner. Then we get to Tuesday, breakfast, lunch. By the time I get to Wednesday, I'm just disposing of Monday's meat.
Yes,
Can you
yes.
imagine the backup, the waste? And
Holy
I want you to take this to another level. How can your body get rid of waste? How does your body? It requires energy. It requires energy to get rid of waste.
Mhm.
Every function in the human body requires energy, a chemical combustion. Your body has to move proteins, get rid of weight, race, take fiber. I mean, all of that requires energy. And we wonder why our energy is so depleted. Like, I'm still getting rid of the breakfast from
Wow.
2 days ago.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and my
No,
kidneys are taxed. And then we don't drink enough water to flush out all of this toxic waste. And we wonder why cancer and all these diseases are on the rise. Good job with your water.
Every online show I do, it is at the bottom of my feet. It's right, and it's eat within that. So it's sort of like there we go.
Yes.
So this is wild. So Serena goes, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a vegan. Yeah, and actually he was on a Super Bowl commercial yesterday with Danny DeVito. It was funny. He was hilarious.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Fitness IQ Cam goes, yikes. She goes, LOL, Ryan, how are you thinking about oxtail?
Yeah, oxtail's like
I had
almost
to check
50
how long
hours.
Well, 2 days.
But Carolyn, say those facts again about chicken, pork, beef, and all, how long it takes, because that's a knowledge bomb. So say that again and we can go on, because that's just like, wow.
Yeah, it's about 24 to 30 hours for fish and chicken. It's about 48 to just over 50 hours for beef. Pork takes 72. And eggs, of course, remember, are not dairy. It's a baby chicken.
Wow.
Eggs and fish it can be anywhere from like 20 to 24 hours to come apart. And here's the reason, okay, is that if I eat an apple, it has water, it has fiber, plus it has
Luscious.
nutrients. So fiber is completely undigestible by the human body, which is good. Fiber just goes out the colon. The body uses that as waste. And while it's sending out that fiber as waste, that fiber is sticky, so it picks up toxins. It's a beautiful thing. Whatever fiber is gone, now the water is gone. All I'm left with is some antioxidants and vitamin C, and my body's like, wow, this was so easy. Now, if I eat an egg, fish, chicken, beef, or pork, it's completely void of fiber, very little water. So it takes so long and so much energy because every single molecule has to be broken down in the intestinal tract. I want you to take your fish, your chicken, your beef, or your pork and sit it on the counter for 24 to 72 hours. Don't put it in the refrigerator. Just let it sit there because that's, your body's warm, right? Yeah. Put your apple on the counter for 24 hours because it takes 24 hours to digest anything. Put it on the counter, your carrot, your apple. What happens? So it rots and putrefies, which is why 40% of waste is from your animal products, where your plant products is less than 10% waste. So how are your kidneys looking now, my friend?
Ryan, fill up
Ryan.
Ryan, no, Ryan, no. Just because Ryan has to go at the top of the hour. So anything I want him to say, I want him to get in for the next few minutes. Go ahead, Ryan.
I guess going back to my previous question about what protein does in the body and why we need to be eating it. Because yes, I'm understanding that we need it for each function inside of the body. But can you walk us through like why protein is important? Why people think that you won't get enough protein with plants? Like, how much protein does plants actually provide?
Oh, that is such a great question. So, I mean, you already said it. So let me just reiterate that every function of the human body needs protein. And guess what, friends? Every single plant, down to your leaf of lettuce that is on the background of this beautiful screen, has protein. Every plant food has protein. And so this is like, to me, by design, I stand in awe of God when I think that every function of my body needs protein and every single plant has protein. Now, of course, some less than others. So if I'm going to eat an apple, I'm only getting 2 grams of protein, but there's protein in it. If I'm going to have lettuce, I'm only getting 1 or 2 grams of protein. But if I add cucumbers, another couple grams of protein. Now I'm going to add my celery, another couple grams of protein. I'm going to put some hemp hearts. 3 tablespoons of hemp hearts is 10 grams of protein. I'm going to throw some sunflower seeds maybe on there. Now I'm getting 5 or 6 grams. My salad, before I even get into my high protein chickpeas, my salad's already giving me about 15 to 20 grams of protein. Never mind my breakfast. I had 2 to 3 cups of fruit before my millet porridge, and my 2 to 3 cups of fruit, each of them had about 2 grams of protein. I had about
my
6 in
oranges
my
this
fruit.
morning.
There
Had
you
my
go.
oranges this
There
morning.
you go. You're going to have a bowl of millet. Now you're going to have about 8 to 12 grams of protein. I throw some nuts or seeds on there. Listen, if you eat plant food, I didn't even get into my chickpeas, which can give you another 8 to 15 grams of protein. Quinoa is one of the highest grains in millet in protein. By the end of the day, even if you just had 2 meals a day, you're up at 60 grams of plant protein that creates so little waste in the human body. And I didn't even eat dinner. And guess what? You don't need it.
I hear like people that are in like weightlifting or bodybuilding thinking they have to be carnivores, like thinking that meat has the most protein. So where does that misconception come from?
Well, the misconception is that if you took an ounce of chicken, or let's say if we took 1 cup of chicken beside 1 cup of chickpeas, you would say that 1 cup of chicken is going to give me 20 grams of protein. But that 1 cup of chickpeas is only going to give me 15 grams of protein. But here's the thing. That 15 grams of protein produces less than 10% waste, also gave you calcium, also gave you antioxidants, also gave you iron, also gave you fiber to get rid of toxins. But that chicken was 40% waste. So that 15 grams of protein in your chickpeas is bioavailable protein. That 20 grams that you're getting from your chicken, 40% of it is waste. So how much protein are you actually getting? So it's a misconception because you're not understanding that out of that 20 grams of protein, your body's really only getting about maybe 11 or 12, plus so much waste and no fiber, no calcium, no iron, no antioxidants. It's a pile full of waste that you don't get the amount of protein that's available in that.
But then is that where I guess they would just eat a whole bunch? Like they talk about being like that carnivore diet. So they just eat more and more and more because of so much of it is waste?
I don't think people understand the byproduct waste. Because that's why your studies will tell you that if you want to get to this level of fitness, you need to eat 80 grams of protein. They're not looking at why. The human body only needs 50, but personal trainers and the reading out there will tell you to eat 80. Why is that? Because the biologists know, and that's where these facts come from. So your personal trainer is not reading the biology notes, but the biologist who helped to put these statistics out there knows that 40% of that 80 grams is going to be waste in the body. I need to get you to your 50. But wow, what do your kidneys look like after that? So that's the problem. As a holistic nutritionist, you look at the whole body, which is different than a doctor, different than some of our beautiful naturopathic doctors out there also look at the holistic approach. It's very important that you've got to look at what's happening on a whole level. You can't just look at the here and now. And I've got 20 grams of protein in this chicken, plus this, plus that. I've got my 80 grams today. Yeah, that's not real. That's not real. And that is, then you have to come and see me and I have to help you get your kidney function off your blood pressure medication. This, friends, is how insulin resistance is caused. So much saturated fat from our animal products is clogging our insulin receptors. And then the food you eat, which turns to glucose, can't even get in.
Ryan, any more? Because I know you got a hard stop coming.
Nothing on the top of my head. This is fascinating.
So Ryan, you take care. Make sure you give yourself grace. Yes. We'll chat later on today.
As always.
Take care, man. So pile of questions. Tim also makes a comment. Growing up on a farm in the 70s and 80s, as kids, we used to ask our parents what we had to feed the cows for them to get to the size they became, i.e. our bull was over 2,000 pounds. They said, feed them grass.
Amazing. Strongest man in the world is
Okay.
plant-based.
Another question. Tim asks, why do we need to eat meat?
We don't.
Next question. What is the benefit of gluten-free foods, and does it really benefit us not to consume gluten?
I'll answer that.
And then also Hayden Morrison, yes. Good morning, all. Y'all just wondering how protein in sweet potato, yam, cocoa, etc. How much protein is in each one of those things? So what do you want to tackle first?
Well, let me first say that, yes, that is correct. We actually don't need animal products for any function of the human body. You can get all of the nutrients you need from plants. I believe as a Christian, we were designed in the Garden of Eden, and that's just really where we need to get back to. So that as far as the gluten question goes, gluten in itself is not bad. Okay, so the issue with gluten is really wheat. So wheat has a extremely high content of gluten, which is undigestible for the human body. So I don't think you need to stay away from gluten, just avoid wheat. And then as far as our yams, our ground provision, our sweet potatoes, they have low concentration of protein. Knowing the amount that Hayden, my dear friend, might eat, you might get 5 or 6 grams out of your ground provisions when you're eating them, but those are higher in carbs, lower in protein. All right, so let's talk protein powder. So here's the thing. If you are, I definitely do some pretty good workouts. I don't use protein powders regularly, but once in a while, I might do, like a 4-hour hike in the woods, and then I come back, I hit my weights. I generally just eat a big breakfast, a good lunch, and I don't eat dinner. But once in a while, I feel like, you know what? I'm like really hungry this evening and I had a good workout. And so I may use a protein powder. I may make a protein shake in the early evening if needed. And I also work with athletes. So for sure, more than a sedentary person, an athlete or somebody who's working out a lot, for sure is going to need a little bit more protein because they're burning through a lot more calories than the average person. They are creating more muscle tissues than the average person. It still doesn't need to be 80 grams of protein, but sometimes you may need to have a protein shake. Now, here's the thing that I want everyone to understand is that protein pools in the system. You need all 8 amino acids to come together to create a complete protein. So a lot of people will say, yeah, but beans are not a complete protein. I agree. But if you eat the way that I would tell you in the consultation and through our programs, you don't have to calculate and worry about combinations of food because you can get all 8 amino acids just by eating properly. And just so you know, millet, quinoa, kasha, buckwheat, those grains actually have complete proteins in them. And my favorite plant protein, which is hemp, has all 8 amino acids in it. So let's not be fooled that, we also need to take aminos in order to get that protein connection if we're plant-based. Because if you eat properly, you get it all. But even the athletes that I work with on their dietary menu, I am not getting them to over protein. But if they need a protein shake at night, because I still don't get them to have much of a big dinner, hemp is a great source of protein, and plant-based vegan proteins do not have a lot of byproduct of waste. However, if you read the ingredients, you can see that there's a lot of stuff in there. So anything that, of course, is processed is always going to have more waste than whole foods. So your hemp, if it's pure hemp, I like that as a protein powder. The Iron Vegan is another very good, but understand it's processed. So there is going to be a higher amount of waste. But if you do feel like you need a protein powder, go ahead with a healthy one that you can trust the ingredients, but do not, hear me clearly, touch whey. Whey proteins are dangerous proteins. You're going to end up with acne. You're going to end up with inflammation. You're going to end up with creatine. This is an animal product. This is a heavily processed dairy product that creates an enormous amount of waste in the body, inflammation, acne, and digestion issues. So make sure your protein is not a whey protein. I don't even recommend the soy proteins. Looking for like a brown rice protein, a pea protein, or a hemp protein. Those are some of my favorites if you feel like you need it. But most people don't need protein supplements unless you are really heavily working out or an athlete.
And just to say, a number of the products, not all, a lot of them, but a number of those products are on sale at the Energy Shack Juice Bar storefront location.
Yes, we make a very clean protein with just pea protein. It's got a little bit of pure monk sugar in it just for that bit of sweetness. And it has carob powder. It's a very clean protein and hemp in it.
I just had a question for you, because when we buy the products that you're suggesting, what is their shelf life?
And I'm not suggesting anybody buys these products, because I think you can just get some hemp seeds and add them into your smoothie. And we don't even need smoothies. We don't even need protein shakes. I'm just saying, if you have to have one, make a good choice. But generally, from opening, they have like usually a 2-month shelf life. Before opening, a much longer. Now, our protein powder, boy, it's got 6 months to a year. It doesn't have any preservatives, but it seems to just last so long. I don't know if it's just so clean.
So just going back to your retreats, what percentage of the clients that you had at this recent retreat were brand new Energy Shack clients?
We had 11 guests, and 5 of those 11 were from a previous retreat.
Wow.
Yeah, they loved it so much. And they're just like, okay, when can I book in? They're like, guys, save, save, save. This is like becoming the new vacation. It was so good for them to like have a restful time, feeling restored. And they didn't eat junk. You know, so many times we need to like vacation from our vacation. They went back to their families, not bloated, blood sugar down, blood pressure normalized, very rested, you know, no more inflammation in 4 days. So it's like, this is like the best vacation ever. And all of your meals are cooked for you. You know, your water is like practically poured for you. Drink your water, Carolyn says. And then you learn so much valuable information. And on top of that, you like learn it practically. So we took these guys in the kitchen. We're like, this is how you make the sauces. This is how you make the burgers. And then, you know, we laughed, we cried, we sat by the fire, we jumped in the pool. Like, it was fun too. Snowshoed. We went snowshoeing. We had like 75-year-old women on snowshoes.
Come on.
And they were
Come on.
And I made them carry
you
their
got pictures of this?
back. I do. Yeah, they'll be all over
Amazing.
Instagram. Yeah, it was phenomenal. And, you know, we took testimonies from people afterwards, and this 72-year-old woman.
Video ones?
Yeah, video testimonies.
Good.
And she's just like, this is my vacation spot. And
there we go.
Here's the beauty is that the people that came with the unknown came in very scared. Like, I don't even know, what did I sign up for? And that's what they said. And they were just like, this was beyond my expectation. Like, how I feel and what I thought it was. Yeah. So yeah, these retreats are amazing. Just go to the Energy Shack website and sign up. We've got a 7-day one coming up in March. And you can use the coupon code 4, the number 4-day discount, or the number 7-day discount. And you can get $175 off the next 7-day retreat in March, or $100 off the 4-day ones. But yeah, you'll want to jump into that.
I have a conversation for you. What are some of the nutrition myths that really bother you or concern you that are out there?
Apple cider vinegar is good for digestion. Makes me crazy. You
Why?
actually destroy your stomach and your liver. Don't ever consume apple cider vinegar, or any vinegar for that matter. That makes me crazy.
That was quick. Any other ones? Wow, that was like bam, bam.
Well, there's 2 more. One is that there's nothing wrong with coffee. There's everything wrong with coffee. It's a drug. And one coffee a day won't kill me. Yes, because the process to make it decaffeinated is a chemical process. And you're never going to get rid of all the caffeine in it. And green tea, black tea, coffee, dark chocolate, they all contain caffeine, which like destroys people's mental health and hijacks your adenosine receptors. Caffeine is a drug that should not be legal anywhere in the world. Coffee's great for enemas, but that's it. Put it up your bum.
Okay, there you go. What will you feel it will take, if at all, for people to take unfortunately, too many people don't take their health seriously?
Yeah. You know what? It's funny you say that, because when we were recording the testimonies, it was very interesting that everybody was taken apart individually, and everybody in the testimony ended it the same way. They all said something to the lines of like, take your health seriously, like take charge of your health. And these are people aged from like early 40s all the way up to like 80, 81 years old was our oldest guest. And that's what they all said. They said, take your health seriously. I don't know what it will take, but that's the business that I'm in. People don't come to see me when they're well. They come to see me when they have a health crisis. I don't know. I guess every person's different, but I just remember being in my 20s and thinking, I want to still be good at 30, 40, 50. So I'm going to do it now. Right? I mean, that was just always my mind frame is I'm going to change now because I know it's not an overnight fix. So what I said to the clients that were there on the 4th day, I said 4 days. That's all it was. Really 3.5. Okay. So let's just say 4 days and your blood sugar, blood pressure, everything has been normalized. Your inflammation is gone. Bloating is gone. And it didn't even happen in 4 days. This happened by the 2nd day. So that kind of change took place in 24 hours. What kind of change takes place in 24 hours of bad eating? What about a week of bad eating? What about a month of bad eating? What about a year of bad eating? Right? So it works on both sides. And I'm going to tell you that I do in my business love offering people hope that you're so fixable. But the reality is that scars run deep. There does come a point where kidney function there's no return. There does come a point where your heart failure, there's no return. So do it now so that your issue's not so deep setted that it comes to a point of no return, because that's real. And everybody can be fixable, but there's definitely, I have to couple that with, people come to me with, I've got stage 4 cancer. The doctors have given up on me. Yeah, reversing you at this time is like really difficult.
Yeah, really hard.
Like
very
this
hard.
takes a miracle, and I don't pretend. Come to me at stage 1 and there can be a different story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like let's write a different ending to your book. But come to me before cancer happens and let's make sure it doesn't even come your way.
Be on the offensive, not the defense.
Yeah, everybody's got something.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You don't have to have a health crisis to come and talk to me. Let me help you learn how to make healthy living a way of life so disease has no business in your body.
Dr. Seth says, I don't like coffee either. Serena says, I used to drink a lot of coffee in college and woke in excruciating pain one day. My doctor in college told me no more caffeine.
Oh, good for the doctor.
My
That's
back
rare.
locked up because of too much caffeine and coffee. What? Your
Yes.
back locked?
And don't forget, that's Red Bulls too. That's Red Bulls. That's cola.
Yes, the energy
and
drinks.
Our young people are dying. They're dying. They're that's real.
I'm going to share a story. A couple that I'm getting very, very close with. Their grandson had a stroke. Sick kids hospital, so he must be in his teens. When they finally did the diagnosis and they found out his nutrition habits, he said probably the energy drinks like the Red Bull.
100%. I know of a teenager that happened to as well. His heart, he went in almost cardiac arrest because of the energy drinks.
Yes. It's interesting. I just thought about, they have that ad, Red Bull gives you wings. Yeah, you may end up
Angels'
in
wings.
heaven. You may end up in heaven.
I believe they know that. They know that. The whole thing was designed by the devil. Yeah, he knows that.
One last comment. Oh, and Serena goes, now there's something called Prime. I haven't heard about that product.
It's another caffeinated beverage. It's a drug. It should not be legal, but weed is legal.
But we're coming up to Valentine's Day. The best drug is love.
The best drug is love.
If you love yourself, love your health. We always say your health is your wealth. Mm-hmm. So there we go. So Carolyn, you have been amazing as per usual. Do you have any last comments you want to share with our family today?
I just want to remind you that health is the greatest of all human blessings. You should not need to buy supplements, powdered proteins, or any kind of expensive supplements or even cheap supplements. Healthy living should be achievable, affordable, and practical. Eat 2 meals a day, eat your plant foods, make it simplistic. Let's not get all fancy. We don't have to count our calories, count our proteins, and how much calcium we're getting. If we eat right, and if you don't know how to, just book a consultation with me. Take advantage of that $49. I will tell you in that time exactly how you can eat, so you don't have to worry about counting anything. It shouldn't be complicated. We shouldn't be counting how much protein we need. If
No.
you eat right, simplistically, you can get it all in there. But I'll tell you what it does take. It takes discipline and it takes some effort. And as you opened up in the conversation, it requires some self-control, no question about it. But it should make you feel good. And no body part should ever be talking to you. Your stomach, your knees, your head. When that happens, you need to talk to me. Yeah, health truly is the greatest of all human blessings. And when you feel good, then everything else around you just like falls into place.
Well, it's interesting because I think I shared with Carolyn a while back. I can't eat beef anymore because my stomach just does not react good to beef. Chicken, okay. I haven't eaten fish since I've chatted with Carolyn. I don't eat fish. And if I do eat any of those things, you better make sure I'm eating my salad first. You better make sure. The body is a beautiful thing that's been created, and it tells you when things aren't right. Well, Mama, Grandmama.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Never mind my grandchildren. I have like 15 clients to get to today. So we're good. Only.
Are you seeing younger clients, or is it traditionally people 35 and up?
So it's very interesting because I've been noticing a growing number of young people. I just did a consultation with 18-year-old last week and 26-year-old last week. So I'm seeing people younger and younger starting to reach out to me.
That's
of
inspiring.
course, yeah, it is. And that's the first thing that I tell them is that I say, I love that you're talking to me at this age because you know what? You're going to fix so quickly and it's going to set the precedence for, your time to come. But I will tell you, I met an 11-year-old diabetic about a month ago. Yes. And he is not a diabetic. And this would not have looked good at 25 or 30 years old. And he wasn't type 1. He created a type 2 situation. He wasn't born with it. So I love that I'm seeing people younger because like I said, I changed as a young person and I feel amazing at almost 50. I'm 49. My main customer database is over 45. There's no question about it. And I also I'm seeing some 92-year-olds and some 85-year-olds. So that's nice too, because I feel like they haven't given up on life and they still want to be better. But I work with babies. You are never too young or old to see me. And I don't pretend to have all the answers. But if I don't, I will make sure that I get them.
Can't have anything more than that. Well, look. Have a good rest of the 15 client day. And Serena goes to all the grandkids in the house. As always, thank you so much for taking
such
your
a blessing.
Time. And don't just manage your time, manage your energy. But thanks for taking the time and beautiful background, by the way.
Thank you. We're planning to go to the US. We've got a Cuba trip going on in July where we're actually going to be doing a retreat there. And we're planning to do one in Florida also. Yes. All right. Bye, everybody. God bless you.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Another great conversation. So let's wrap it up for today. Let's get some things going on here. So you can watch the replays of this epic conversation called The Morning Vibe at the Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube and Facebook, Afro-Caribbean Business Network, Facebook and YouTube, and Ryan O'Neill Knight, YouTube and LinkedIn. Please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification buttons. More and more subscribers. Thank you very much. Also follow the Dr. Vibe Show on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. To advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I host, please email me dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. I'm going to ask Carolyn after we finish if she can put some tips when it comes to protein in the Discord group so you can get some stuff if you join. Here's Ryan's information, website, LinkedIn, Instagram, email. So as we finish off here, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Thank you for everyone who watched live or on the replay. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. Contact me if you have any guest suggestions or suggestions in general for the Morning Vibe to up our game. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith. Walk good.